Titrana Kamanam Paribonam Soja Ngabadila Yami Arena Dana Vidami Teka Brand Mariami Kami Dumesa Sara Vidami Teka Brand Mariami Mugawara Vidami Teka Brand Mariami Tula Miraya Misa Mabaratana Vidami Teka Brand Mariami Abama Dena Tamba Deta အင်္ဂလိပ်လိုအရင်ဟောခွင့်ပေးပါဖုန်းအင်္ဂလိပ်လိုအရင်ဟောလိုက် I'm going to be speaking in English for about 15 to 20 minutes and then I continue to speak in Burmese. Today I like to focus on what we know in Pali as Dukkha. Sometimes translate it as suffering or the experience of being, the experience of feeling unsatisfied. This is what I would like to focus on today. Initially, it may disappoint you because everybody wants to be happy. And whenever you see monks, they always talk about dukkha. It's not the best marketing. Not the best marketing, We keep talking about dukkha. But this is very important. How to live our life. We need to know this experience, the experience of having to repeat again and again, looking for happiness. We look for happiness, we find it, then it's over. Then we have to look for it again. Say, I know we had generous donors this evening preparing delicious snack, for you. Very delicious, you have it, and that makes you very satisfying. But everything comes with expire date, including your happiness. Today we were invited to have lunch at a restaurant in, what's the place? Takashima. Very nice food. I was eating and then reminding myself. Just as I was talking, I was giving a talk the day before yesterday in Burmese. Loka Dhamma, there's worldly condition. When you are enjoying delicious food, you have to tell yourself. There are times when the food doesn't meet your expectation. When the food doesn't satisfy your demand. So when you're aware of that, actually, you enjoy the food in front of you more. You don't get carried away by the delicious taste. Instead, mindfully, you enjoy the taste. You don't add anything into that. You don't need imagination. Because the food is already tasty. It's already tasty. because of that, I enjoy my lunch very much today. I think I finished everything. I finished everything. Okay, the fruits, the soup, corn soup, and spaghetti. Okay, Italian, Singaporean spaghetti. No. My focus this evening is by focusing on what we call Dukkha. You can call this pain. By focusing on pain, you can actually develop positive energy. There's a process doing this. There's a process. It doesn't happen automatically. Why it doesn't happen automatically? At work, for example, you have to work with many people. Your colleagues, your boss. Your boss will have his boss. His boss will have his boss as well. Okay, the CEO will be responsible will be accountable to answerable to the shareholders. The shareholders and everyone will be shouldering the responsibility to satisfy the customers. So everybody, is under pressure. But if we are not aware of this, if we forget this, the pressure is dukkha. If we are not aware of this, you go to work, you're given certain tasks to perform. You do this. Sometimes your own idea may be approved by your boss. Sometimes it may not. Sometimes it may be just partially. Sometimes you will have a colleague that feels insecure and doesn't want to collaborate with you as much. But you will also find people who are not secure or maybe just out of habit, who like to talk about people, in their absence. You can call whatever you want to call this. In the conference yesterday, the Jagat 2017 at the Singapore University of Technology and Design, at the closing plenary session, the reporter and panelists, they were asked to give one-line statement so that people can take home. Someone from the panel focusing on professional life, he said, one of the thing that causes a lot of inconveniences and maybe suffering, negative emotion at work is, if you don't mind me using the word used over there, called bad mouthing. Okay, bad mouthing. We do this because we are not aware of this. Other people do this. When someone talks behind you, now you feel insecure, you need someone, to side with you, to feel your pain. You need to convince someone that you are right. In trying to convince someone, you also badmouth other people. You behave the same thing. So we don't actually know where things start now. After a few days, we don't know, because we just repeat the same thing every hours.
Is it the same as gossip?
You have the liberty to translate. So You can see that, okay. Now, in that situation, you feel uncomfortable. At work, you feel uncomfortable. This is an added pressure to your performance, having to perform to your best ability, and now you have something to distract you. When you're being distracted, when you're being put under added pressure, your creativity is down, is going down, it's decreasing. Only when you are very positive, only when you are very positive, only when you can manage your stress and pressure very well, only then, you will feel creative. But if you are not happy at your work, because people gossip about you, you can resign and join another company. And people will do the same. And you can resign and you go and join another company. And you will see the same thing. You see the same thing. So running away from that, running away from problem is not the option. It's not the option. What the Buddha is saying is that, we have to face dukkha, we have to face this head on. But to face this head on, sometimes, the way people do is they just confront and they just explode. You gossip about me, I hate you. When you do that, a workplace full of grown-up people becomes a school playground. It becomes a school playground. The difference is the school playground, people can understand because kids, they are emotionally immature. But at work, you are graduate, okay, you have gone through all sorts of trainings, you're supposed to be a lot more mature. Lately, I read just one passage about the importance of emotion from Jack Confield. He said, people can be intellectually very advanced, spiritually very stable, but emotionally immature. Spiritually very stable means, your sila, your precepts, you don't break them. You don't break them. You do meditation or very focused, very good concentration. But if someone next to you tells you your meditation method is wrong, and now you're boiled up, you're fired up. We don't know where this dukkha comes from. Because all we do most of the time is to run away from dukkha. You resign from one company because there's a lot of dukkha in there. Okay, it's enough for me here, so I go and have a new start. Actually, very soon you discover a new start is not very different from the old one. One day, the Buddha was going on alms round in the morning to collect food. Venerable Ananda, his assistant, faithful assistant, intelligent assistant, was following him. And people who didn't understand the Buddha, you can understand, you can imagine the Buddha was only 35 when he became famous. When he became enlightened, only 35. Very young. Very young. Most of his contemporaries are in their 70s, in their 80s, like that. So now, the Buddha was a rising star. Rising star. So he was going round on his arms round in the morning in a city where he hasn't got enough followers. So the Buddha was going around like this. What happened is that there were some people who the Buddha in that town. They didn't want him to stay long. They wanted to chase him away. They sent a mob. Using the Buddha, you are not actually enlightened. I said earlier, somebody with a different meditation technique criticizing your meditation technique is similar to that. You are not enlightened. You're just pretending to be enlightened. You don't know what you're talking about. That kind of stuff. That kind of stuff. The Buddha knew straight away this was Dukkha. This was Loka Dhamma, worldly nature. This is natural. The Buddha felt their pain, the pain of jealousy, the pain of insecurity. The Buddha felt them. So the Buddha didn't respond negatively. He had all the energy, all the strength to take whatever they threw at him, all the abuse, whatever they threw at him. No, he wasn't shaken. He had all those energy. It was not a miracle, not a miracle. Because the Buddha tells us a process, or the process, how we can achieve this. So it's nothing miraculous. We can all do this. But his assistant, Venerable Ananda, very good meditator. I always look at Venerable Ananda as a very good meditator. Because dealing with many people, he had the energy. He had the energy to store all the information from the Buddha. All what we have now, we largely owe to, we owe him, the greatest gratitude. And he would follow the Buddha. He would look after the Buddha. When the Buddha was resting, then he would be guarding, so that people wouldn't disturb the Buddha. And he would also perform the role of a secretary, taking SMS and forward to the Buddha, like that. So he had all the energy because of his good meditation. The reason I say this is because I just came back before I come to Singapore, I went to Serbia. Someone, one of my old students, he is a disciple, and he gives his own name. He names himself Ananda. Ananda, he really, really admired Venerable Ananda. And I asked him why. He said, Venerable Ananda has the kindest heart. Although he was not the best meditator, he said. That struck me. Not the best meditator. Simply because at that time, Venerable Ananda, during the Buddha's time, Venerable Ananda achieved only Sotapanna, the stream enterers status. Meaning only 25% of the job done in terms of meditation. 75% more to go. So with this gentleman, he remarked that Venerable Ananda was the kindest man, although he may not be the best meditator. But in my heart, I would like to say Venerable Ananda was also one of the best meditators and one of the most kindest people. But Venerable Ananda couldn't take it. When the monk was abusing the Buddha, he couldn't take it. How dare you accuse my teacher? How dare you accuse the Buddha being unenlightened? But he didn't say that this way. Okay, he didn't respond in a violent way. What he said was he asked the Buddhists, so these people, they are disturbing you, they are disturbing us. Let's go somewhere. Ananda, where you going? The next village. Next village. Suppose if the people over there start behaving like this, what are you going to do? We go to the next one. If the third village also behave the same, we find another one. You see, you resign from company and you go round and round. Some people, they tolerate the situation at the workplace because they don't want to spoil their CV. If you stay in one company just for a few months and move to another one, you get bad impression. You give bad impressions, so the next employer may not be as impressed. And just before I came here, someone told me, is it okay for me to move on to another company? I said, why? Well, I need a new challenge. Very diplomatic. He didn't say that, There's too much dukkha in the current company. He didn't say that. I want a new challenge. I said, what's wrong with the present challenges? What's wrong with this? He didn't answer, and he asked another question. Is it okay if I move on because I've been here for a year? This tells us, in some way, there may be something good about this, but in one way, what it tells us is that our tolerant threshold is not that high. We can't engage with pain, with negativity straight, and transform that into positive energy. I talk about how the Buddha engaged with dukkha and then transformed it into positive energy. I like to keep the message simple this evening. One of the things that we become very restless whenever we encounter that kind of inconveniences at work is that we don't expect it because we didn't expect it. When we don't expect it, everything comes as a surprise, a big surprise. So this is one of the reasons. So we need to expect dukkha. We need to expect dukkha. When you're driving your, shall I say, Ferrari, your sports car. Imagine that there are places when your car cannot go. There may be places where you have to take a bus. Maybe you have to take a ferry. I'd like to invite you to JTU so that you can go. You have to leave your ferry somewhere. And you're going to find the experience very enriching. So you tell yourself, the experience of a Ferrari is not permanent. There may be other kinds of transport that I will have to take. Yesterday in the conference, SUTD, we will offer lunch in the VIP lounge. We have to tell ourselves, there may be time when we have to have finger food. Finger food is, you understand this in the European culture. You stand and eat. No chair, no table. If you, we are not allowed as a Buddhist monk, we are not allowed to some of the Arab countries. But if you happen to go to Arab countries as employees or for business or business reason, people don't even use fork and spoon, the way you share in the Arab culture. That's also very interesting. Very interesting. Sometime in Eastern Europe, where people don't understand the relationship between monks and lay people in Asia, in Buddhist country, in Buddhist community. People would ask, do you like a cup of tea? They would just ask like this. Then you say, okay, they would make us say, here you are. There will be time when I come here, all the people in Singapore, not only that they make the best tea, but they would like to put into, a small tray, maybe another tray underneath that, and then on their knees and give like this. I have to remind myself, this will not happen all the time. Look at them. By doing that, it makes me more appreciative of their effort. I don't take this for granted. You see? When the Buddha tells you to, when you are in an aircon condition, when the Buddha tells you to remind yourself, there will be rainy days. He is not trying to spoil your day. Okay, he's trying to kind of prepare you, for a bad day. By seeing that life, involves both negative and positive experiences, you are ready to enjoy whatever comes. You enjoy more of your aircon office. When you go to work, you use MRT, the train is quite punctual. The buses are quite punctual. You remind yourself there can be time. When the buses and the trains are less punctual. Maybe because of the technical reason, maybe because of the human exhaustion, maybe because of natural disaster, for whatever reason. If you remind yourself that you actually appreciate the train driver, the management of the MRT, the transport management, the driver, you appreciate them so much because they do their best, the majority of them. So the way that, one of the reasons that we don't want to engage with dukkha, we don't want to focus on dukkha. The reason that we almost have an automatic reaction to dukkha, just to run away, just to shut ourselves, just to close up, to close ourselves off. The way we want to do this automatically is because we feel uncomfortable and we don't know how to deal with the pressure. But why we don't know how to do this? Because we never learn. All we do is run away. We never learn. But learning about dukkha, learning about pain is not that easy. I have already shared with you last year this time because I broke my leg last year. Here. Okay. It would be last year, 27 October, I broke my leg. And even before the operation, I shared with you how to cope with pain. As you slip off your mindfulness, how the pain increases automatically, how the reaction just came automatically, and that sort of thing I shared with you last year. So it was a very good learning process for me. When I remind myself that I actually, enjoy myself walking, because there were a few weeks when I couldn't walk. And I'm grateful to everyone for this. Then, in order to watch the pain, in order to watch anything that is painful, maybe in the office, maybe in the family, maybe on Facebook, to read anything that you don't like, you need some stability of the mind. You need to train your mind to stabilize. We call this concentration. So when we do meditation, we try to calm the mind. If the mind is calm, it doesn't react in a chaotic way, not automatically. It has the energy to look at this. So concentration is important to observe pain, to observe dukkha. But when we actually observe dukkha closely, we come to see that the original dukkha is only 20%. The top up that we put in is 80%, 80-20 theory. Our mind is very good, automatic mind or subconscious mind is very good in topping it up. We all are specialists in that. Specialists in top up, okay? Top up of dukkha. If you say something negative about me, I take that away and multiply that again and again. And I can't sleep at night. See? We don't need to be taught this one. We don't need to be taught. We learn easily. Why? Because of fear. Because of survival. the need to survive. The need to survive. And the fear to survive means, you need to survive in the society. But you can't survive alone. You have to work with other people. At work, you can see you have to work with other people. To work with other people means you need other people to accept you. I have already spoken here last time the burden of being accepted and being rejected. I don't want to repeat this again. But we have that. We have that all the time. Okay? The dukkha, I use the word dukkha, the dukkha of trying very hard every day to be accepted by our family members. Look at the parents, how they do their best to be accepted by their children. How the children trying their best to be accepted by their parents. In the school, at work, internationally. Why? Because we have to survive. Because we can't live alone. We need the protection of the society. We need the protection from other people. From other people. This means, life comes as a package. People who protect you, they can be also a source of gossip, a source of dukkha. So we need to look at this, carefully and expect that life has this kind of aspect. The Buddha went through all kinds of dukkha, all kinds of pain. All kinds of pain. The pain of separation from loved ones. The pain of being with people who didn't like him. The pain of not getting enough food. The pain of, being criticized. And also the burden of being acceptance. Being accepted. All those things. What the Buddha did was he looked at those experiences closely. And he came to see that, if I train my mind and I don't repeat them, the original dukkha is only 20%. And that's bearable. That's bearable. And when he looked at other people, he also saw, everywhere he saw specialists, dukkha specialists. People who specialize in increasing dukkha. And he felt compassion towards them. He said, these people, just like me, they have the potential. They have the potential to reduce this pain, to reduce dukkha. And I want to share with them. So he did for 45 years. The energy that he had for 45 years. Look, the Buddha didn't have a budget. These days, monks, when they want to do something, this or that, people come, trustees come, and accountants, and this and that. They start thinking about budget. The Buddha didn't have a budget. Everything comes from the positive energy that he has. That positive energy I call compassion. Compassion. So when you look at dukkha, you look at that properly. Instead of, the experience being, turning into depressing one, it turns into motivating force. Problem becomes motivation. If you see someone at work gossiping about you, trying to feel the pain of that person. And because someone gossips about you, if you feel the need to gossip back, okay, to talk about the negative things, okay, about that person, then look into your mind and feel that pain. Feel that insecure feeling, feel that pain. If you can go 3 weeks without gossip, you will have accumulated a lot of positive energy. 3 weeks. Write down in your diary 3 weeks. I'm not talking about enlightenment, I'm just talking about 3 weeks without ji do ji. When you can do that, whatever happens at work, okay, whatever negative comments you receive, you're going to look at them with a lot of strength, with a lot of compassion. Because the way you look at problem, the way you look at dukkha is very insightful. So instead of depressing you, now it's motivating you. Motivating you in a positive way. I promise you 15 minutes. I think I have taken about 45 minutes in English. So now I'm going to switch into Burmese. I hope I don't have to switch to a third language this evening.